Hello, and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. This would be the second edition with Elisabeth Wykert. Technically the third, if we count from like 3 months ago. But for this weekend, the second episode with the incredibly talented, the incredibly funny, social media sensation, stand-up comedian, dance phenom, Paul Green, and...
He's so multi-talented, people.
And with me is Elisabeth, who is more famous and more talented and a better dancer than me. And boy, did we have ourselves a day.
Oh, my gosh. I'm exhausted, which I think you just deserved the pillow of shame.
Do I deserve the pillow of shame?
You deserve the pillow of shame for...
I'm a dream chaser, but never a dream catcher. Oh, but I sure am trying to get those dreams. So what would you say was the worst part of today?
I think everything went really well.
Overall.
The only thing that I wish I would have known on timing is that we could have gone to Target a little later and like just chilled for a little longer. We filmed at Target after we'd already filmed for a couple hours and then went and did a thing for the boxing place in town. They had a boxing match. And I just, if I would have known that I could have we didn't even go up till like 7:30. So I'm like, we could have gone to Target at like 5:30, chilled, did the thing, and then got there like closer to 6:45.
So to catch everybody up, in case this is your first time. So I flew out to Missouri this weekend just exclusively for the opportunity to film random dance videos with Elisabeth Wykert, who has an incredible social media following, incredible social media presence. If you haven't checked her out, go check out Elisabeth Wykert.
Incredible social media mind.
Yes. So anyway, when I came out here like 3 months ago, I know that you do all of these videos in like a gold leotard, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I would love to wear a gold leotard and do videos with you, and we did, and they were super fun. And I'm going, what if I just came out and we did a bunch of those? So that was the plan today, and we did a bunch of them. So we filmed out in front of your house, which it's so funny because everywhere that Elisabeth goes, she's pretty famous, and so you can't film for more than 4 or 5 minutes without somebody pulling up in their car, taking selfies, honking at you. But we filmed videos in front of her house, and then we went to Target in gold leotards and just walked around Target and filmed a bunch of videos, doing a bunch of stuff, and also saw a bunch of people that Elisabeth knew, which was really fun. And then I'm going to say how we ended our evening was maybe not the best gig I've ever done.
I thought it was really fun.
Okay.
I mean, I was like, we went and did this boxing match, and we were the intermission thing, and we totally just made up this stuff, whatever we were going to do, literally the 2 hours prior to actually doing it. But that's what I love. To me, I was just like, that was just perfect to go back, at least in my mind, of just dialing it backwards and being like silly and weird and not really caring. Like, I don't know. That's just what I'm about. And that was kind of the origin story. And I still do that, but I do it very calculated. And this wasn't calculated. So I loved it.
Oh, no. Yeah. So Elisabeth had told me, said like, hey, there's this boxing match. It's like a local boxing match at this local gym, right? And it's this gym's, and it was like kids, like it was young. And then by the time it was our turn, they were getting a little bit older, but it definitely seems like a development for like young boys to young men gym. Didn't see any female fighters, at least not in the half that we were there. And so, I came out here to do videos, but then all of a sudden it's like, wait, we're doing a live performance at the intermission of a local boxing match.
For no pay.
And Elisabeth's husband was there in the ring filming, so hopefully we will get video content. But that's a very different, doing something live is so different than what we have done with the videos where we can just kind of hack stuff out, take a bunch of takes. And now I'm thinking of like a live audience and I'm in a gold onesie, and you're in your gold leotard, and now we're in a boxing rink where there has been combat for 90 minutes of these boys just pummeling the crap out of each other. And then it's just...
Then we come out.
Yeah, then it's like, hey, everybody, here's your intermission entertainment. And the audience seems so confused.
A lot of them. I was really grateful for the people who knew me and that I was...
Well, you are a local celebrity, so that helped.
I told them, because they were like, yeah, do your thing, girl. Before I went up, I'm like, please keep that energy up.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we need you to help everyone else who's very confused right now.
Just has no idea.
They seemed like they were all having fun.
Yeah. We got... I like right at the beginning when we were up and trying to kind of force the energy, I didn't really get a lot of like people like, oh yeah, we're on board with what you're doing. I just got a lot of like, yeah, we don't really know if we want to cheer for you yet. Show us something first. And then we really only had 2 sort of dance bits kind of worked out. Well, we did your Adele bit. And then we did Tricky.
It's Tricky, kind of mimicked off of the White Chicks dance of Ryan's brothers.
So we did a dance battle to Tricky, and then got the heck off of that boxing ring faster than a Mike Tyson opponent. That's how fast I got out of that ring. So that was interesting. It was interesting, and I don't know. We were talking about it before, and I say this a lot, and it sounds very nihilistic, but it's actually the only thing that keeps me going, which is whenever I'm in this situation, I'm like, I'm about to do something that makes no sense to me. How did I even get here? Why am I sitting in a gold onesie in a local boxing match in St. Joseph's, Missouri, and I'm about to go in that boxing ring and dance? It's like, this isn't even what I do, but here I am. And I felt a certain way. I felt a little like apprehensive. Like I wasn't.
Isn't that fun feeling though? I don't know. That feeling.
Not that one. Not that one.
You deserve the pillow of shame.
Yeah, I deserve the pillow of shame. There are other feelings of anxiety that are more favorable than that one. Well, because it's something that that's a very unique thing that I've never done before. Now, like, I always feel anxious anytime I do stand-up or whatever, because you never actually really know, but it's a more of an excitement. It's more of, well, I've done this enough to know that it's going to go well. There was part of me that was really catastrophizing, going, these people might just boo us out of the ring for hijacking their boxing match, and how obnoxious that we come up there and we're just dancing to Dale when they've come and watched these fighters who have trained so hard. I mean, those fighters were good and talented. Yeah,
I asked in the phone call. I go this because I was originally thinking Rocky, which I think was a good example to give, to be like, okay, because that's a parody. And
right.
I think if we would have done Rocky, it would have been just as offensive. And I go, but I don't know if that's offensive. Like, I don't want to offend anybody. He goes, no, I think everybody would have a fun time. Like, it's intermission. People aren't fully paying attention. They might go get drinks. Some people might stay and like see what's going on. But like, they understand that it's intermission. So he's like, I think he goes, I think that's a great idea.
Right.
So I clarified to make sure, because I was like, again, like, these are people who they're devoting their life. Not the kids, but I mean, the kids are still devoting a lot of their spare time, and their parents are devoting like essentially parts of their life to be able to do this. I'm like, I don't want to go out there and like, essentially, if your kid had a piano recital and it was like at Carnegie Hall. I mean, this was not close to Carnegie Hall, but like, but at your local church, your local Baptist church, but it's a nice, beautiful church, and everybody did really great. And then you're like, and now for our intermission. Like, you just chopsticking it up. Like, that was a fair comparison. And I'm like, but is this like, I don't want to be offensive. So I use those words. I do not want to be offensive.
Yeah.
And he was like, no. And I don't think anybody was offended.
Yeah. And
they were all telling me a great job whenever I went back up to the DJ booth. They were all like fighters. They were like, that was great.
Yeah.
They had fun.
Yeah. I did say beforehand, I was like, hey, if we're having fun, they're going to have fun. And, we do have that sort of caricature of taking something very serious that is so absurd. And we did, we take the Adele dance is very serious and very intense. And then, the tricky song, it's like, no, this is a dance battle. Yeah. We are intense, and we are dancing, and we were getting into it. And I did hear a little bit of woos on that.
Yeah, there is a lot. I heard a lot of more applause, which there wasn't a lot of woos and cheering during the whole match that we were there.
Sure.
Like, there'd be people who started chanting it up, whoever that Daniel kid was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Daniel the boxer did have an entourage there.
He was getting it, which was great. They were chanting. But, like, for the most part, most people weren't like, woo, like when somebody did something really great. I mean, there was a couple moments in the matches. And so I kind of gauged that as, like, you know, if people don't
even when somebody won, there wasn't like a huge
uproar.
You know, this. But we also don't know who the actual like headliners are, right? Because I mean, when we walked in, it was like 8-year-old kids pummeling each other, and then it seemed to just get a little bit older and older and older. It got to like younger teenagers to a little like mid-teenagers, and then it looked like a kid who was maybe like even could have been like in his early 20s. I saw boxing. And that was like right up to the time that the intermission was. So it could be after us. Maybe it gets into more like semi-pro, or maybe there actually is like,
they said that
this is who we came to see.
That's it. He said that right after intermission, it goes into the main event.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we're there for so long. So I'm like, I'm not staying.
Oh, yeah. I had to get out of there.
I'm out.
Yeah. I had a huge headache. And I was already feeling like whenever I'm like that sort of exposed and like vulnerable in like this sort of situation, is like I have to get out of there. Like my introversion kicks in, and I'm like, I need like tunnel vision and recover emotionally for a while. But at the same time, you know, if we're talking about dreams, it's like how cool is that is what I'm doing on a Saturday night.
Because lucky you
I know,
like, this is I mean, even if you're not making money yet, but like, you are making money in entertainment on some sort of capacity, to the point, and I know you have your other, like, another job to be able to support you in your entertainment, but still, that doesn't matter. It's that you're able to take time from your life to fly to Missouri. Weird shit. Like, how wonderful is that?
Yeah.
Like, that's all the life that I care to live, is be able to do weird shit. And pay my bills.
Well, yeah, and you know, and I've thought about this because, you know, I think a lot of comedians have that. Well, I want to make money as a comedian, and it's going, well, sure, but do you also just want to do comedy and also be able to pay your bills? Because there might be a way to do that without actually the bulk of your revenue coming from the comedy. You know what I mean? And you know, I mean, not to go into the whole dream thing too much, but that's just something I learned. Like, there's a million different ways to set up your life and to follow whatever passion you have. And so I just am incredibly grateful that I'm in a situation to where I can follow my passion and pursue my passion. And maybe there comes a day to where I've built enough of a business and a career and a following or whatever, and I figured out a niche to where I'm going, well, now this day job is actually, you know, a hindrance as opposed to a supplement. But yeah,
or I had to drop it. It was just, it was a hindrance. And, but it was like.
So what was like? Do you remember that decision? Do you remember kind of coming to that? Was it a tough time? Was it so obvious? What was that like?
It was really hard because it was the best job on paper and the best people to work with, and but I was so unsatisfied. And then every time I'm like, okay, I was able to be good for like the first 6 months. I only worked there for 2 years. But the first 6 months, it was good because I was editing and doing all of this stuff because it wasn't a lot of work. I was overqualified for it anyway, so I'd get the work done really fast. I would do all this editing. They just needed a warm body in there as well to make sure if anything popped up, I'd be able to solve problems. That was the main, like, part of my job. And so I was able to, like, multitask a lot of stuff, which was really great. And then slowly, I started to slip and learn that I was getting so much stuff done. He started giving me more tasks, and I'm like, hey, I took this job because I thought I could get paid to do my editing for my YouTube videos.
Right.
All right. These are funding my parodies, you know. Yeah, that's why I took this job. And so it was just like a slow roll. And then, after it came to a point, I was just like, I knew I couldn't do it anymore. And I was always drained when I came home from work, which I was like, I only work 7.5 hours, and it's at a job that's at a desk. And I would even go and walk on my breaks with a friend, and we'd talk and everything. So I was still getting outside thing, and it wasn't like mentally taxing, but because it was like going against my soul, it just drained me. And I'd get home and I was just impatient and I wasn't super happy. And so then I was like, okay, well, this isn't the solution, but I can't just up and quit. So I started waking up at 5 a.m. So that way I would have 2 hours every day to devote to myself. So no matter how the day went, whether I had time at work or I didn't, or if I had energy in the evening to do something extra or I didn't, I know that I spent 2 hours devoting to my passion. And so anything else that happened, it was just like an extra. And that helped relieve like a lot of upsetness and stress. And I started getting more energy because I was just devoting it on my own time and squeezing it in. And so then by the time where I was like, okay, got in a car accident, we got a huge lump sum settlement. Thank you.
The old car accident settlement plan.
I manifested that. I was in the middle of like reading all these manifestation books.
Yeah.
Like I was on that kick.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, did I make this happen? Did I do this?
The old monkey's paw. That old monkey's paw.
But I was like, we got enough money to like, we were still just scooting by. And I picked up like a couple other random gigs and went back to more of a random gig thing rather than getting stuck in a full time. And then COVID happened and
COVID happened,
and it worked out for me. I don't talk about it a lot. Again, I manifested COVID. I didn't mean to, guys. It's all my fault. But
well, okay. You were in Wuhan, just kind of like,
and show me the bats, and I'll eat them.
Hey, who are you? I'm the new lab tech. I'm just gonna look at these viruses real quick.
Whispering at the White House. Stimulus. I wrote a song about stimuluses, and I miss that song so much. I'm like, we have another one of those, please. I would like another stimulus. Gen Alpha watching this podcast somehow in 40 years and like, I hate her. She ruined everything. The stimulus was the mark of the era. Ruined the world. But anyway.
Well, very cool. So you enjoyed the day.
I thought it was a fun day. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to do this tomorrow.
I know, right? You got some crazy stuff for us planned tomorrow, too, as I understand. I'm just kind of holding on to your coattails. Like, I'm just kind of like here, like, okay, what are we doing? What are we? Is that what? Okay.
Well, you flew out here. I'm like, I want to make you get your money's worth. You know, like, let's get some stuff done. I don't want you to come out here and just be like, well, why did I stay out here for so long?
Well, yeah, dancing in a gold leotard in front of a local boxing match. That definitely was worth it.
You're like, all right, scheduling an earlier departure.
Maybe I don't need to fly out Monday night. Maybe I'll fly out tomorrow morning. Oh, look at that. I got to think.
She had nurse next. Are we going to be like street dancing for some quotas on the corner? Which I have done. No, I have done.
But soon, though. All right. Well, I know we've got a lot to do tomorrow and a lot to talk about still. So why don't we call this one a little early tonight? We're exhausted. But I think the lesson tonight was take random opportunities, even if they aren't what you planned on, and see what happens. And then try to set your life up to follow your dreams. And to me, it doesn't matter what it looks like. Like, have a job, don't have a job, drive Uber, whatever. You know, I heard
manifest a car crash.
No, right? Manifest a car crash or COVID. That is what.
That one is like heavy meditation. And I really pulled it deep in.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for today. I look forward to tomorrow, and I'm going to check in with all of you tomorrow with the third installment of the Elisabeth Wykert podcast episodes for this weekend. So I will talk to you and to you tomorrow.